deal. Everyone likes to save money. It's attractive to see the for sale sign, clearance sign, the big red bold dollar sign, for sale, cheap, low price. But there's a saying that you have to be careful. A lot of things are fool's gold, meaning that they look flashy, but they're a worthless investment that will not serve you in the long run. That's what fool's gold means. It means that it appears that you're saving money, but in the long term, you're losing money and it's not a wise investment or not a wise choice. And I think about that tonight as I sit here, a man living out of his car. 4 years ago, I sold an appreciating asset, my house, and I went on a venture to relocate, to downsize. And I was very careful in researching buying an RV or buying a tiny house. And one of the major reasons I didn't at the time was because I realized it's fool's gold. As far as, in most instances, it's a flashy item, but is a depreciating item and can hurt you. And that put caution in my soul. I said, I'm just going to take the car I own and live out of that. There's three things that living cheap will steer you in the wrong direction and make you try to mine fool's gold. Like mining gold, instead of mining real gold, you're mining fool's gold. The first thing is, instead of focusing on appreciating assets, you focus on depreciating assets. You know, anything with a motor, RVs, boats, cars, they're depreciating. And I know with the coronavirus, and I know with limited supply, even those assets have inflated. But when you calculate the real cost and when you calculate how hard it is to liquidate it, for most instances, it's still fool's gold. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. I wore fake gold at a time in my life. There's nothing wrong with chasing after or buying something that's going to go down in value because it may have a quality of life appreciation. I'm still happy I sold my house because one of the major reasons I did it, I lived in New Jersey. I wanted to come to Florida for quality of life. I'm still happy I sold my house, even if it was in Florida, because I did want to downsize at the time and refocus my life. But I'm thankful that I didn't buy an RV. I'm thankful that I didn't buy a new car because it's fool's gold, especially when you're getting ready to change your life. You don't need more stuff. You need more focus. You know, now if I buy something, I can practice what I preached. I can say I took my time. I made the sacrifices. I suffered a little bit. And, you know, even now I'm very trigger shy to buy something that may not be ideal in the long run. I mean, I look at a beautiful Class B, and I say to myself, yeah, I could do it now. Is it fool's gold? You know, it's to be debated. You know, probably getting a house is more conventional. And just having a regular car, you'd still have the option to DoorDash, Uber. And so I think about that. But the other thing there's three things. One is, instead of buying appreciating assets, you buy depreciating assets because you're trying to live cheap and easy. And many times these cheap and easy things, these cars, these RVs, even though they're expensive, it's not a big process. If you have any little bit of money and if you have decent credit, you can go on a car lot today and walk away with a car. You can go on an RV lot in most cases and walk away with an RV. So it's a little bit of, I like that. I like the quick transaction, but you have to be careful because that could be fool's gold. Usually, you know, usually the cake or the food tastes better when it's cooked in time. But the other issue, the second thing that living cheap is kind of like fool's gold, is you end up in a cheap environment because you're trying to live cheap. You know, I looked at a home base over the weekend. I like what it has to offer because it's kind of exactly what I'm looking for. It's less than a quarter acre land. I mean, it's probably like, it's a very small piece of land, but it's flat. It has RV hookups for 2 RVs, and it has like a little shed that's almost a tiny house. And it's close to the beach. So it has almost everything I'm looking for with regards to a level of stability with a home base, but not an entanglement of a house, not too expensive. Property taxes were like $300 a year. There's no HOA. But the negative is it's not in the best neighborhood. The negative is I don't know if that is a wise decision because I'm basically buying into a cheap community, a somewhat bad community, and is that worth it just for the sake of living cheap? You have to think about that. A lot of people move in the middle of nowhere for the sake of living cheap. A lot of people end up putting themselves in a bad position simply because the cost was low. The third thing kind of tied into that, or a little bit evolved from that, is the third thing where living cheap is fool's gold is instead of just living below your means, you start to live below your potential. What does that mean? That means instead of you maximizing your skill set, your career set, and pushing yourself, you just settle on a mediocre job or a minimum wage job, and you stop there. There's nothing wrong with those jobs I worked in, but many people, the average person, can work their way up a little bit higher. And I thought about that. I remember a few years back when I was burnt out on the corporate life in my late 20s a little bit. And I was like, man, maybe I should just live cheap, sell my house, live cheap, and like work at Lowe's as as like a hardware, just like stacking the shelves. And I remember one morning I went to visit my mom and she had to go to Lowe's to buy something for the house. And I took her in there and I was telling her my idea, and it was very early. And in the morning, they have like a team meeting with all the Lowe's associates, and they do like this huddle, and they say, let's have a great sales day. And she looked at me, she said, Sam, is that what you want to do? And then I remember going to a convenience store, Wawa gas station, and it was early in the morning. I was going to get my coffee, and there was this lady making the coffees, and her manager was a little bit upset with her, and the customers were waiting. And I said to myself, she had a lot of stress on herself, and she was making probably $10 an hour if she was lucky. And I said to myself, man, if I think that I'm escaping stress or escaping life by getting a cheap, easy job, all I'm doing is lowering my earning potential. Not, if I'm going to stress, I want to make as much money as I can. I don't mind working my way up. But I also realize that if you're going to exchange time for a paycheck, you might as well get the most out of your time. See, living cheap makes people live below their potential, not just below their means. And that's how they get caught buying depreciating assets, living in a bad neighborhood, working a below average job, and before you know it, you just bought fool's gold. And that cautions me tonight. There's no right or wrong answer to life. And I've met great poor people, I've met great rich people, and I've met bad poor people and bad rich people. I've met I've been in bad neighborhoods and had some of the best times of my life. I've been in good neighborhoods and same thing. So there's no exact science to life. I can't tell you what to do, but I could tell you, give some thought outside of the price tag. The price tag is very important. Make sure you give it thought. Make sure, again, you could just walk off a car lot, walk off an RV lot. You could do a lot of things quick, okay? But you have to calculate the cost, the back end cost. You have to think about the exit strategy. One of my favorite things that I've shared and that's been revealed to me is I always want to know my exit strategy, because knowing how to get out of a situation is wise, not foolish. When I was talking this weekend to the 1,000 Trails rep, he was telling me about this new package that I was interested in. And if I decide to go with the option of getting an RV and then just getting a camping pass to live somewhat cheap, I was asking him, well, if I decide I don't want to do this anymore, what are my exit strategies? He goes, well, you can sell your membership one other time to someone else. I said, well, if I can't find a buyer, can I just stop paying the dues? He goes, well, why would you want to do that? I said, well, I don't want to do that, but I want to know all my exit strategies. He goes, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because look, let's say the economy takes a bad hit and you can't sell something, you can't liquidate it. how else can you get out of it, even if you take a loss? Because you don't want to pay the recurring yearly dues. You know, like you can't do that with a house, right? That's the difference between the nomad life and a house. The nomad life is more liquid, more flexible, but it's not a long-term appreciating asset with stability and room for growth. So there's trade-offs. There's no right or wrong, but you have to give thought to exit strategies. You know, like I say, if you're trained, you know, in a military mindset, doing like a special ops thing, you're always taught, look at how do you get out of a situation. Okay? Because if something goes wrong, and in life, a lot of times things go wrong, you have to know what are the exit points of the building? What are the exit points of the purchase? What are the exit points of the physical location you're at? This is wisdom, not foolishness. This is what you should give some thought to. Okay. It's very hard, guys, to make decisions. I'm going to do a video this week about decisions. I'm also going to do a video about a couple houses I did from Florida, a couple RVs. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. You want to support the channel, click that blue join button, because the thumbs up, thumbs down is just a way for people to watch for free at the Apollo. I've been to the Apollo, guys, but I've also been a Boca Raton. Okay, so what I could tell you guys is I'm not performing for free. Why? I'm a platinum artist now, 14,000 subscribers. Okay, but that don't mean shit. Why? Because, guys, you can have 100,000 subscribers. Okay, you could have 100,000 views. People can unsubscribe just to see your numbers go down. But over time, if you keep showing up, your numbers will go up. You'll build consistency. Okay, and bottom line is, guys, you overcome the coworker that's contentious, the troll online, by showing up, taking care of yourself, and they weep and they gnash of the teeth because they're jealous, just like Cain was Abel. But they could put the work into their life, but they don't. They chase fool's gold. They think they're going to be famous by being a troll, and all they're going to do is destroy their mental health, and they're going to watch someone who does better self-care basically say, look, it's not my job to take care of you. Okay, so you have to figure out your own life. Okay, and if you put that on someone else, you're not a good person. Okay. And so what I can tell you is this, guys. You'll destroy your life, okay, staying in contentious relationships. Okay. You could destroy your life trying to live cheap. Because, guys, and girls, where do you think all the cheap people are? Where do you all think the people are that guilt trip? Where do you think all the people are that are manipulative? A lot of times, they're in a cheap spot. Not all the time, because there's bad rich people. But, guys, bad rich people, they got, you know, acres separating themselves. They got gates. They got fences. Okay. Okay. So, you know, you have to, you know, be mindful. Okay. And that's the truth. Keep your head on a swivel. Be careful of the jealous and spiteful. They are the insecure, the jealous and the spiteful. They're not just fool's gold. They are fools with vengeance in their heart. That are going to destroy your life emotionally. There's no way in life you do anything you want to do, and we're all going to die. We're all going, you know, to the, you know, next level, whatever it's going to be, if it's anything. It's not about being better than anyone. It's about being your best self. Okay. And if you can't discern that, okay, you could kick rocks. Why? Because I'm never trying to prove anything to anyone. Okay. I'm trying to do the work of my life. I'm trying to share some good stuff, and mainly because it's a side hustle, but also because of my gift. Keep it honest with you. Don't bullshit you. Okay. I don't want you to click the thumbs up. Okay. Okay. If you do, it's a cherry on the top. If you click the blue join, it's excitement. Okay. If you don't, it's still for free. Okay. Why? Because my choice, my life. Okay. Now, when you live below your means, that's the type of boldness you can have. However, if you are living below your potential and you decided to work less, you decide to buy a cheap property in the middle of nowhere, a bad neighborhood, and you start to slack, you're in fool's gold land, because you didn't empower yourself. You basically destroyed yourself. That's the message tonight. Under 15 minutes. I won't drag this out, because what I can tell you is, guys, I'm not playing that YouTube game. Okay, I'm giving you short, compact. If you guys want to share above that, we can share for all my members. I'll take a hydration break. If not, I'll shut it down and move on with my time management. Because, guys, I'm not doing 20-hour live feeds. However, Camo Dave, kick rocks, you old bastard. Get out of your fucking house. Okay. I just got Camo Dave. This guy sits in his fucking apartment with a circulating fan watching other people live their life. Okay. Let me tell you something, Camo Dave. Get out of your house and go live your life and stop stealing content. Okay. Because what I could tell you is, okay, I'll do 1,000,000 live feeds. They'll be better than yours. My subscribers will be better than you, not because I'm better than you, because I took the chances, I did the work, and I'm living the life producing the content, okay? All you are is a failed news broadcaster with daydreams of living in a van with a puppet and alcoholic problems, okay? You're a nice guy, but I know the passive aggressive bullshit, okay? You're living below your potential, okay? Because I could tell you got some intelligence, but you also got some troll characteristics. And your people you fuck with and you pacify on your channel same way. That's why you got flagged, and that's why you should get flagged. Because you don't want to go out there and live your own life, okay? You should be ashamed of yourself. A grown-ass man that ain't doing shit, okay? Get out of your fucking house, okay? Go make some videos of the supermarket, okay? Of people fishing. Go do something with your life, okay? Because what I could tell you, okay, like I tell everyone in life, okay, you got to do the work of your life. And the work of your life is not taking someone else's stuff and commenting on it, okay? Because let me tell you something, guys. Cisco and Ebert or whatever the fuck the movie, they're dead. And that whole movement's dead, okay? Now you get paid to create content, okay? And if you're going to criticize it, you can get criticized too. So you say, oh, these nomads, they don't want to be criticized. Well, let's criticize the critic. Let's say your videos ain't shit. Let's say when you go live twice a day and they both bullshit. They both suck. None of your content's good. It's all stolen. Okay? How about that? Okay. Come on, man. No more games. Marcel, love to you, man. That used to be my dream. Go to off-grid. Yeah, it's a lot of people's dream to go to off-grid because it's escape from reality. But the reality is there's no supermarkets, there's no gas stations, there's no Starbucks, there's no bikinis. There's broke people living in the middle of nowhere because they're trying to escape the self-care of their life. Okay? And that's why the land is free, and that's why the people are drunks, and that's why it's basically fool's gold. Okay. So what I can say, Marcel, if you get any value out of my videos, I hope you heard that. I hope you still do what you want to do. If you want to go out in the middle of nowhere, I say go. It's better than sitting in your basement commenting on people in the middle of nowhere. Okay. At least you'll be doing something with your life. Okay. However, take caution. Okay. Take a job, take savings. Okay. Take your self-care habits and routines. Because wherever you go, your habits follow. Okay. And what I can tell you is, you ain't going to get through life, okay, without a level of structure. Marcel, I gain immense value. Thank you, brother. Thank you. It's gratitude reciprocal, and I appreciate you as well. Thank you. All right, guys and girls and all the lurkers in the background, what I can tell you is this. If you don't show up, nothing happens. Okay? If you don't go out there and live your life and make mistakes, if you don't go and put your effort into your life, if you don't go and trial and error, all you're going to be, guys, is watching someone else's life. Don't watch my life. I mean, watch my life, but get something out of it so you can build your own. Okay. And that's how I don't treat you like babies. Okay. A lot of people treat you like babies, and you're willing to put up with it because you just want to be talked to. And I think they're fucked up and you're fucked up. Okay. And, there's nothing wrong with needing to talk to someone. There's nothing wrong with community. Okay. But there's something wrong, okay, when grown people with some ability live below it. There's something wrong with that. And, it don't matter how cheap it is or how rich it is, there's something wrong with it. Okay. And look, we're here. And, whether you don't want to be here on earth or whether you do, and I understand both mindsets because I feel I'm human. My mindset for me is just look, make the most of it while you're here. Try to make your life better, which you can. Take care of your health. Cut off people that are leeches. Okay, leeches to your emotions, to your content, to your mindset. You don't need them. Okay, guys, there's fucking billions of people in the world, man. Okay, and what I tell you guys, a lot of people want to be friends, but even with all the billions of people, keep your circle small. Don't grow at the sake of losing yourself. After every divorce is I lost myself. Every one. And what I could tell you is you live below your means so you can be yourself. You don't live below your means so you can just not work or just not do anything or just not, just live this BS life, I want to retire early. That's a dream. Yeah, sure. But what I did was I picked up side hustles. I didn't take a step down. I took a step up. Pluto, $10 super chat. Love to you, brother. Brother, after hearing your words, one day at a time, self-care, self-control, those things unlocked the stamina, energy, and awareness within me that is directly impacting my success and income at work. No doubt. Appreciate that, Pluto. I appreciate you listening to the core context of the message and getting value out of it and then putting it in your life. Marcel, Pluto, and everyone else, I don't want you guys to just watch me forever so that I could just take from you. Okay. Look, I tell you straight up, I'm doing this as a side hustle, but I'm telling you straight up, take my value, put it into your life, then go live your own life. Okay. Because, one thing I tell you is that no relationship is healthy, even if it inspires you, if it's controlling, if it's manipulative, if it expects you to stay around forever. Anyone who expects blind loyalty is blind, and the blind can't lead the blind. If anyone is of any value, their whole goal in life is to get you to the point, okay, where you can start living without them, or being a higher level of independent, a higher level of empowered. The whole purpose of a spark plug is just to spark the engine. A bird is fostered only so they can fly. And you got to learn that. Love to you. Thank you, Pluto. Thank you very much. Marcel, I'm going through a degree program, but I noticed I actually want to be a personal trainer, going to obtain an online certificate, and want to get employment ASAP. Well, thank you for sharing. One is you could definitely get employment ASAP as a personal trainer, but it's a low pay, low ceiling job. Being a personal trainer, the average, you could Google it, you'll probably max out around $20 an hour, maybe a little bit more. So now, as a single person with no kids, you can make that work. You could live cheap to make that work. My suggestion, but you have to do what you want, is to have that as a side hustle, not a main hustle until you build it up. A main hustle would be, again, in the medical field, in the information technology field, in a trade, in something in society that has a higher ceiling. And that way, that's your backbone. And then the personal trainer is your side hustle. Because that way you can be a personal trainer how you want to be one. Now, could you do it the other way around? Could you make personal trainer your main hustle? Sure. But just like making DoorDash, you got a ceiling. And you don't have a skill set that will allow you to gain a level of independence that you may or may not want. So I'm not saying go to college for something you hate. I tell everyone what I learned in life is work in a field, at least for a few months, if not a couple years, before you go get certifications in that field. You say, well, that's impossible. I said, well, guys, it's not impossible to get a security job in an information technology company. It's not impossible to be, a cleaner in a hospital. It's not impossible to get your foot in the door. Okay. And what I found in life, we've promoted janitors, we've promoted security guards. What I found in life, if you show up every day over time, opportunity, and you'll have to get some certifications. I mean, it's not going to just happen. And I'm not saying that's an example for everyone, but I'm trying to make the point that then get focused certifications and know the career. No, like you got to know the maximum for the average personal trainer is $20, $25 an hour max. Okay. And that's not 40 hours a week in most cases. Now, you can't, obviously there's exceptions, right? There's probably Kim Kardashian's personal trainer, probably makes, close to $1 million, but that's the exception. Again, Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, became the greatest player ever. That's the exception, not the rule. So I'm not saying don't aim for the moon, but I'm saying you got to also have realistic goals and expectations so that you know how to navigate this thing called life. Because whether you're a personal trainer, whether you're IT, whether you're an electrician, whether you're a plumber, whether you're a nurse, whether you're a caretaker, whether you're a DoorDash deliverer, everything requires consistency. If you can't do any job and show up for at least 2 years, stay out of trouble, and keep showing up, you're not going to make it in anything. Now, it is true, okay, we learn over time what our gifts are. We get better at certain things. We build more confidence as we get more experience, and then we feel better going to work or doing, because, but, you just have to be mindful of all these things as you navigate a career and what you want to pour your time, your money, your resources, and your focus on. Because you only have so much time, you only have so much money, you only have so much energy. So you have to be very intentional on where you direct that so that it returns to value to yourself. Like I said, don't fucking waste time bullshitting with people, you know what I mean? Because it's good for when you're young. Again, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, reasoned like a child. But when I became an adult, I put away childish things. Now, look, still have fun. You guys know I have fun. Still enjoy life, but you also have to mature. You also have to evolve. You also have to, you know what I mean? Do all these things to develop yourself. And, don't fall for fool's gold. Try to, live your best life. That's true. Pluto, thank you again, brother, for that super chat. Marcel, one of my newest members, I want to thank you. I appreciate you. And what I can tell you in life, man, is keep pushing forward. Okay. Take your time. Again, any purchase over 5,000, wait 48 hours, at least 24 hours. Don't rush. When in doubt, take the promotion. When in doubt, don't buy. When in doubt, keep your flexibility. Research. Knowledge is power. Okay, you got to have some knowledge. Okay, on the average pay, on the average cost, on the average rent. It's like people will Google the average penis size, but they won't Google the average salary. That's a cheap mind. So all these things are some of my reflections at this point in my life. Okay. Ultimately, it's your life. Okay. So ultimately, you get to say, I agree with him or I don't. Now, ultimately, I direct my channel, but ultimately in your personal life, you decide, not me. And that's how it should be. But when you decide, if it goes right, it was congratulations to you. If it goes wrong, you got to have your exit strategies because it's on you. And there's nothing wrong with making mistakes because we all make mistakes. Okay. But we want to try as best we can to learn from our mistakes, even if we repeat them a few times, because that happens too. It's okay. Have grace. And, that's it. That's the message tonight. I'm not going to stretch it out because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you, Pluto. Very gracious of you. Keep pushing forward. Peace.